But first, the latest on ABC's decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely after comments from the comedian about the Charlie Kirk shooting suspect. In his monologue on Monday's show, Kimmel said allies of President Trump were trying to characterize the gunman as, quote, anything other than their own. He went on to say Republicans were looking to score, quote, political points following Kirk's death. Kimmel faced criticism from FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, who suggested his agency could take action against ABC because of the remarks.
They have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Let's bring in our Jonathan Vigliotti for more on this from Los Angeles. Jonathan, so just hours after those comments from the FCC chair, Kimmel was taken off the air. Have we heard from Jimmy Kimmel yet? And apart from that, what fallout have we seen since this decision was announced?
Yeah, Ouija, good afternoon to you. The fallout, I think it's fair to say, has been tremendous. We are here in Hollywood. This is the heart of the entertainment industry. You have protests unfolding right now at ABC headquarters in Glendale. You have behind closed doors some difficult conversations happening with executives about what language can be said, what language cannot be said, what words open one up to liability. Case in point, Jimmy Kimmel. We are here outside his studios, what has been his home since 2003, more than 20 years of him on the stage performing his version of satire through more than 4 administrations. That all came to an end yesterday. To your question about if he will return, that at this hour is still unclear. We have reached out to Kimmel and his reps. We have not heard back. The same is also true for ABC. This is being described as indefinite, and I can tell you, as we have been here today, we saw as what looked like big moving trucks came in with what appeared to be sets being dismantled and loaded in. When you look at the bigger picture with media analysts that I have spoken with, they describe a chilling effect through the spine of this industry on free speech. What is permissible moving forward? Carr specifically said he found that monologue, the language in it, as it was performed by Kimmel, to be offensive. What is the very definition of offensive? What is offensive to one may not be offensive to others. Those that I have spoken with say we're in uncharted waters.
And Jonathan, Carr has also threatened to revoke ABC affiliate licenses. Could there be even more punishments or talk about consequences on the way?
It's a great question. And, we listened to that interview on CNBC that you just played a clip from, and you couple that with an interview that Carr gave yesterday on a conservative podcast, the interview that really was the first domino to fall, where he said that Kimmel crossed a line with his language. He did threaten, in so many words, to crack down on organizations that did not try to restrict that language. Again, he said cross a line. Critics wonder if the line is now being redrawn. If he's trying to suppress, and the administration is trying to suppress, political opposition and language that is unfavorable, it does seem possible that more organizations could face a threat, just similar to what Kimmel did yesterday.
All right, Jonathan Vigliotti, thank you for your reporting. Larry Sabato joins us now. He is the founder and director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia. Larry, it's great to see you. I wonder if you think this move signals a shift in free speech in American media, or do you think, it's specific to Jimmy Kimmel's show?
Well, almost certainly not, because this is part of a larger pattern. It's a pattern of intimidation by the Trump administration to big media, to critics of all sorts, to universities, to law firms. Look, they're sending a message to people who have been tough on Donald Trump that you're going to pay for being tough on Donald Trump. It's self-censorship they want. They can't reach all the critics. They can't punish all the critics. But what they can do is to pick some very prominent people like Jimmy Kimmel, make them suffer for the sins that they have committed supposedly, and send the message, therefore, to everybody else. You'd better watch what you say.
Larry, to be very clear, this was a decision by ABC, right? It was a private corporation, but it happened just hours after we heard from the FCC chair. Do you believe that the government played a role in ABC, making the choice that it did?
Is the Pope American? Of course. You'd have to be a fool to believe that these actions were completely separate. They clearly were not. And look, business is business, and they decided that for the future of their business, in which they're seeking a super mega media merger, they had better stay on the FCC's good side and on the Trump administration's good side. I get it. Everybody gets the business angle to this, but it's a major change in the way we approach news media coverage and critical coverage of an incumbent president. It's really unprecedented. There, you can point to several things that have occurred in American history, but so many of them are happening at once. And just a few months into the Trump administration, they really have come down hard on just about all the key institutions in American society and politics.
Larry, back in January, President Trump signed an executive order looking to restore freedom of speech and end government censorship. I want to play what he had to say right before he did that. Listen.
And I'll also sign an executive order to immediately end federal government censorship of the American people. In America, we believe in free speech.
So help us make sense of this, because clearly the president said that he was going to end government censorship. He said, he did not want the politicalization of words, essentially. And based on what you just laid out, I wonder if you think there's been some sort of shift, or how do you make sense of what's happening today versus back in January?
Consistency is not Donald Trump's strong suit. That's part of it. Another piece of this, though, and it goes back to his elections, winning or losing, it's that there are no rules except the rules that help him at any given time. And that's the way many of his minions look at it as well. Again, politically, maybe that makes sense, but it doesn't to the society as a whole. It doesn't to the political system. It's hypocrisy. And it ought to disturb everybody. Of course, it doesn't. We live in surprisingly quiescent times. And I think it's going to go on until somebody is able to stand up and stop it in some way. And that can't happen until after the 2026 midterm elections. And it won't happen unless Democrats win at least one House of Congress. That may or may not occur.
Quickly, Larry, because you brought up the politics of all of this, I wonder if this is a win for either side. Is there a chance that Kimmel becomes some type of martyr?
I think he already has, and he's not the first. Obviously, there was another late night host, as you well know, Stephen Colbert, who was also ousted. And I realize that's connected to your network, but it's hard to believe that the fact of the Trump administration's feelings about Colbert didn't come into that decision. So look, there have been two key firings of sorts. One was a suspension, the other was the end of the show, but practically speaking, they were firings. And after a while, there's a pattern, and it's not just a pattern with late night comics. It's also a pattern with how Trump approaches networks and the money that he got from CBS and the money that he got from ABC, the money he's trying to get from the Wall Street Journal, the money he's trying to get from the New York Times. This is pure intimidation. Really, it's intimidation.
Larry Sabato, thank you so much for your analysis. We really appreciate it.